Hey there, and welcome back to AFOL and the Kid for our latest LEGO review, which is going to be the LEGO
8080.
LEGO 8080 or ATAT. This one's from 2020, so it's the latest one from LEGO, so it's about a year or so old now. We do hope you enjoy our review. I'm going to look at it from an adult collector's point of view, and the kid,
I'm going to look at it with play value and what it's worth for play value.
So there we go. We hope you enjoy the video. Do click the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen there, like the video, and feel free to comment, and we will try and get back to as many people as we can. So here we are with set number 75288, which is the LEGO Star Wars 8080 or ATAT from 2020. And it has 1,267 pieces and retailed here in the UK for £140. Nice shaping, shame about the blue and brown pins, which we'll discuss later on. Here's a close-up of the minifigs. Nice detail on the prints there. Luke's torso could do with being a little bit more opaque with the white, but generally speaking, nice figures, nice accessories, and a nice display piece. Okay, so the LEGO 8080 from 2020 from an AFOL adult collector's point of view. It displays nice. You can see that. I've got it set up here on a little white base plate to represent a little bit of snow on Hoth. Figures set up in front there, and it makes a nice little display piece. You can adjust the feet a little bit and the legs a little bit to give yourself a little bit of a pose, but I do recommend that you put this on a base plate, and then once you've got the sort of pose you want, the action pose, if you're going to display this, clip the feet down onto that base plate to give it some stability, because this thing is flimsy. I mean, it was flimsy-ish when I built it, and I thought, you know, it's not going to stand the test of time, but we're now a year on, it's got flimsier. The clutch power's gone a little bit, as it tends to, and some of the friction's gone a bit, and just overall, there are some issues with the construction of this thing, which I appreciate is difficult because of what it is and how it's designed in universe. And LEGO have done a good job, no question. It's fairly similar in that respect to the one they did before in 2014, which I also have, but that one seems to have fared better over time. It'd be interesting to do a comparison, and I might do that. But this one, a year on, it just wants to fall over every time I look at it, and if I touch it, move it, try and open the hatches, things just fall off. So overall, the longevity of this set, not overly impressed with how it's held up. So I'd certainly recommend that you put it on a base plate, because if you have this thing up on a shelf and you leave it there, it might be okay for ages, and then all of a sudden it's going to collapse on you. It wants to go forward, it wants to go backwards, and it's on these skinny legs, as in universe. So anything you can do to give it a bit more stability, I would recommend. That said, display wise, it looks good. The proportions are good, the angles are good, the minifig selection's good, the shaping of the head is much better than I think they've done previously. There's more interior on it. From a play point of view, I think that helps. There's more interior space. You've got the snow speeder, which you can fit in the back. You've got a little mechanism in here, which is just a cog attached to the string, which means you can wind Luke Skywalker up and down towards the hatch, which does open underneath. And Luke himself's got the little thermal detonator to throw in there. As I say though, if you're going to play with this, I still recommend that you find your pose and you anchor it to a base plate, just to avoid collapse and bits falling off. There's not a huge amount of space inside the head, but there is space to comfortably sit one of the pilots. You can get a couple of other figures in there as well. And there is quite a bit of interior space on this, more so than the others. I'm going to very carefully lift this up. It does hinge all the way up on a double hinge, which is nice. And you've got a fair bit of interior space there to sit some figures and put some cargo, etc. And both sides open up in the same, so that is nice. On the back, you can lift up and lower this flap, and you can store the snow speeder in here. That just slides in and slides out. Looking at the snow speeder itself, it's not a bad little build. However, the way that these little fins clip onto the front, I don't like at all. I didn't like it when I built it, and it's even worse now. I've had to put a bit of tape around the pins just to thicken them up a bit to get them to stay in there, because they're not the right size to fit in how it's designed, and they just fall out, want to push out under tension. So that is a really poor design in my opinion. As I say, I've had to wrap a bit of tape around there just to give a bit of extra thickness, just to make them hold in there, but they still just want to come out. So if you're playing with this, they're going to fall off all the time. So that could have been better. Figures, it's fair enough. They're pretty decent, really. What you'd expect with a set. You've got a couple of pilots, a couple of snowtroopers, General Veers. You've got Luke Skywalker, who we've talked about, and you've got a nice little side build of a little gun, and that is quite nice. Box art kind of tells you what you're getting in terms of size and scale. It's fairly well scaled to what you get. It's not too bad. If you see, if I put the box behind there and lift it out of the way, the box kind of gives you a fair idea of what you're going to be getting inside in terms of size and scale. So that is nice. The set retailed for £140 here in the UK. As I said, that was nearly a year ago now, and I've seen this discounted for about £100, certainly £110 when I was looking earlier on. And for that, it's not a bad price. I think it was overpriced at £140 for what you get, and given how flimsy it is. But £110, £100, that's not bad at all. We are obviously due, the rumour mill would suggest, for an Ultimate Collector Series 8080, which hopefully is going to come out next month, although we've yet to see any set in stone details for it yet. Be interested to see what they're going to do with the legs on that model, because at this scale it's so flimsy, and they've just about kind of got away with it. If you're going to play with this thing, as I say, I would worry, but they've just about got away with it. I wonder if they're going to do something similar to what I've done here in terms of anchoring the feet down, so they're either not posable and they're fixed, or they come with some sort of base plate terrain where it's sort of fixed in position. Or maybe you'll be able to pose it a bit and lock it down like I have done here. I can't see how else they're going to do that, so it's going to be interesting, because this scale, and it's fairly hollow, it wants to fall apart and pieces come off all over the place. If it's a much bigger scale, I can't see how they're going to make that with movable posing legs. So that'll be interesting to see. We've got hopefully that coming out next month, although it's going to be very expensive. So if you just want a smaller display piece that looks like what it's meant to look like, not too bad a price, good selection of minifigures, some good play features. We've got the issue we always do with brown and blue pins on show. I mean, there's no point in talking too much about that. What can we do? We've said it so many times. I don't mind them personally when they're fairly hidden, but when they're completely on display like this, I do find that an issue. I think the construction of this is pretty good, considering the parts that are available to Lego, but I do think they probably could have done something better with the legs in terms of where they're actually pinned in, because there's nothing really here. All the pins are back here, so it just kind of wants to twist and pull off here, and over time that's got worse, and that's what's added to its instability, I think. But overall, from an adult collector's point of view, if you want a Lego 8080, this one is pretty darn good. It displays well, the figures are good, just make sure you anchor it down onto a base plate. I'll pass over now to the kid, and he'll give you his opinion on the play value of this set, and we'll see if it's still in one piece after he's finished talking with you. But thanks for bearing with me, and I'll pass you over now to the kid.
Hello, and here I am, the kid, and I'm going to be telling you the play features of this. So for starters, if we start just here, this time it opens up fully, much more, and it's got much more space in here. And then you can, what comes with this is this little speeder bike, which I will tell you later on with the figures, and you can slide that in there if you would like to have it in there and close it all back up. So that's another thing you can do. And then there is, as you can probably see, a dangly little like grappling hook here, which Luke can go on with his little grenade. And up here, there's a little cog in here. It is very stiff, which is a little problem I have with it. You can either wheel him up or down. It's just very stiff. And then if we move on to the head, it's got a nice little mechanism to open that up. It's got more space in here from last time. Don't know if you'll be able to see very well, but there's a lot more space, so you can fit the two figures in there a lot more easier. And then my main problem, oh, and there's a little bit here which opens up, like the little trap door where you can put the grenade. you could like put it in there and then close that back up, right? But my main problem with the set is the legs. They are very, very flimsy. The whole set's very, very flimsy, as you can see. And this just loses all of its friction. All of the joints lose all of its friction. So it all just like, I've had a few problems with it where it just all falls down and stuff. So that's a problem. And now moving on to the figures, we'll start with Luke here. So this is Luke with his little cap. He's got an alternate face with his thing up. And then he comes with this little rebel helmet. And then a nice little grenade bit. And then there's a lot of bad guys in this set. So here's one of the commanders for the AT-AT. You would like pop him in there with like one of these, and then you put the snow troops in there. So there's one of the guys. He has an alternate face too, a cheery face there, and a not so much cheery face here. There's this little hat, binoculars, and then there comes with 2 snow troopers, which are cool. They come with their little guns, helmets come on, and that's the same. And there's 2 of these guys with their little guns. No alternate faces with either of these. I like these helmets, which is good. And then, like, this is quite nice, but it's been taped there because it's just those bits come out so easily. So, but it is a nice little build. It's nice, and you can pop a troop on there. It's got a little blast like there, and then last thing is this little gun, which you could like put which you could put the snow trooper with, have him hold on there and like angle it round, which is pretty good. And yeah, so that's the Lego AT-AT for this year.
So thanks very much for watching our latest review of the Lego AT-AT or AT-AT from 2020. The kid's given his opinion on the play features, and I've given mine from a display or adult collector's point of view. I think we can both agree that it looks good. Yeah. It's a nice size, it's a nice scale, one of the best they've made in terms of how it looks and displays. Yeah. But for both display and play, it's very
flimsy.
It's very flimsy, and that makes it difficult to play with. Because when you're trying to open the flaps and move bits around and things, it does just want to fall over. So if we didn't have it on a base plate here, we'd have had a nightmare with this video. But it does look good, and there's some potential for some very good play there if you can stabilise it enough. So thanks for watching. Check out our shorts, because we've done some shorts reviews for this as well. Yeah. And do click the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. And hit the like button, give us a comment. If you want to chat with us, we'll do our best to chat back to as many people as we can. Anything you'd like us to review, get in touch, and we'll be back again soon. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.